At 10:57 p.m., on a nearly empty road, Marcus Hale was pulled over after drifting slightly over a lane line. There was no speeding, no aggressive driving, and no danger. The stop looked routine from the outside. Marcus pulled over immediately, rolled down the window, and waited calmly. When the officer approached, the tone was casual, almost friendly. The first question sounded harmless. "Do you know why I stopped you?" Marcus paused briefly, then answered honestly. "Yeah, I was checking my phone for a second." That sentence did not help him. It ended the traffic stop as he understood it and replaced it with something else entirely. Most people never realize when this moment happens. They only recognize it later, when their own words appear in a police report stripped of tone, stripped of context, and rewritten in language that sounds far more serious than the moment felt. They're often shocked by how quickly the situation escalated, convinced something went wrong. In reality, nothing went wrong. The system worked exactly as designed. As a lawyer, I see this pattern constantly. Clean records, minor violations, one unnecessary sentence, lifelong consequences. Traffic stops feel informal for a reason. You stay in your car. The officer usually speaks calmly. There is no accusation at the beginning. This atmosphere creates the illusion of a normal conversation. Legally, it is not. A traffic stop is a detention. You are not free to leave. Every word you speak can be documented, interpreted, and later used as evidence. From the moment the emergency lights turn on, the encounter becomes structured, even if it does not feel that way. Here is the first hard truth most drivers never hear. You and the officer are not participating in the same interaction. You're trying to end the stop quickly and peacefully. The officer is observing, assessing, and deciding whether the stop should expand. These goals feel aligned, but legally they are not. And the moment that misalignment matters most is when questions begin. Most traffic stops don't escalate because of what officers see. They escalate because of what drivers say. And once you understand that, you'll realize how often people unknowingly talk themselves into trouble. Most drivers assume the stop will remain about the original reason. A broken light, a lane issue, a speed limit. What they do not understand is how quickly the legal purpose of the stop can change. The law allows expansion the moment additional reasonable suspicion appears. That suspicion does not require proof. It does not require certainty. It requires only a reasonable basis to continue. One sentence can supply that basis instantly. This is why certain questions are far more dangerous than they sound. "Do you know why I stopped you?" is the most common example. It is not required to be answered. It is not asked to help you. It is designed to see whether you will admit fault, guess incorrectly, volunteer information, or later contradict yourself. When Marcus admitted he was checking his phone, he believed he was being cooperative. Legally, he removed the need for inference. The officer no longer needed to observe distraction. It was documented directly from the driver. Here is where honesty becomes trap. People believe honesty will shorten the encounter. In reality, honesty during roadside questioning often lengthens it. The legal system does not reward honesty here. It evaluates whether the officer had a lawful reason to proceed. Once an admission exists, that threshold is met. The officer does not need to persuade, threaten, or argue. The record does the work. Drivers say things they believe are harmless. "It was just for a second. I'm tired. I only had one. I wasn't paying attention." These statements feel reasonable. They feel human. Legally, they are powerful. None of them shorten the stop. None of them protect you later. Police reports do not preserve tone or intention. They preserve words. And those words are written to justify action, not empathy. If you think being polite protects you, wait until you hear how politeness is interpreted once it's written down. Politeness is another misunderstood risk. Drivers nod, apologize, and explain because they believe it shows respect. Unfortunately, politeness often creates more exposure than silence. Over-explaining introduces unnecessary detail. Apologizing repeatedly can be described as nervousness. Filling silence increases the chance of inconsistency. Courts allow officers to rely on the totality of the circumstances, which means normal human behavior can later be framed as suspicious without bad intent. The system does not ask how you meant to sound. It asks how your behavior fits the report. Another widespread misconception is that legal rights meaningfully begin only after arrest or a warning. That belief is wrong. Roadside questioning does not require any warning. Anything said voluntarily before an arrest can be documented and used later. This is where most damage occurs. Not handcuffs, not in an interrogation room, but on the side of the road, under pressure, when people are trying to be agreeable. Once words are spoken, they do not expire. They do not reset. They become permanent. Tone disappears. Stress disappears. What remains is a sentence attributed to you. Mid-video hook. Most people don't lose cases because they were caught doing something wrong. They lose because they helped finish the case against themselves. Silence, by contrast, feels dangerous. Drivers' fear will look rude, defiant, or suspicious. That emotional fear pushes people to speak when restraint would protect them. Legally, silence is allowed. Drivers must identify themselves and provide required documents. Beyond that, most investigatory questions are optional. Declining to answer does not create guilt. It prevents evidence from being created. What matters is clarity. Silence without clarity can be misinterpreted. Clear language establishes boundaries. I choose not to answer questions. I'm going to remain silent. These phrases are calm, lawful, and effective. The mistake people make is inconsistency. They assert silence, then continue talking out discomfort. Partial silence offers no protection. Courts favor clarity. Ambiguity benefits the record, not the driver. Most drivers feel the exact moment when a stop changes. The questions become narrower. The officer pauses longer. The tone shifts slightly. This is the moment the stop stops being about the original violation. Once suspicion exists, the stop does not contract again. More talking does not reverse it. Explaining does not undo it. Apologizing does not help. At that point, every word is filtered through suspicion. If talking could undo suspicion, traffic lawyers wouldn't exist. This is why talking your way out rarely works. The system is not designed to be reversed through explanation. Cooperation does not erase documented suspicion. Once the legal basis exists, it stands on its own. The only reliable way to avoid escalation is to avoid creating that basis in the first place. So what should you actually do? Pull over safely. Keep your hands visible. Provide required documents. Follow lawful instructions. Answer only what is required. Decline what is optional. Respect is shown through behavior, not conversation. Silence is not defiance. It is restraint. Clarity is not aggression. It is strategy. Most traffic stops do not ruin lives because of the violation itself. They do so because of what happens afterward. Clean records do not protect against admissions. Polite attitudes do not erase statements. Good intentions do not survive paperwork. Nearly every serious traffic-related case follows the same pattern. Minor stop, unnecessary sentence, long-term consequences. A traffic stop is not a conversation. It is a legal encounter with permanent effects. Understanding that difference changes everything. Silence preserves options. Words remove them. If one sentence can change the direction of your life, knowing when not to speak may be the most important skill you never knew you needed. If this changed how you think about traffic stops, share it with someone who drives. Most people learn this lesson too late. Subscribe for clear, practical legal explanations before a single sentence costs you far more than you expect. Before this ends, remember this. Most people don't get into serious trouble because they broke a major rule. They get there because they didn't understand how quickly a small moment can turn permanent. Traffic stops are one of those moments. What protects you isn't attitude or explanations. It's awareness, restraint, and knowing when silence matters more than words. If this breakdown helped you see traffic stops differently, take a second to like the video. It helps this information reach people before they need it, not after. And if you want more clear, practical explanations like this, without fear-mongering or fluff, subscribe to the channel. Staying informed costs nothing. Learning too late costs a lot more. Stay safe, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next one.